Welcome back, movie lovers! Today we're diving into why the Fantastic Four film is a true masterpiece. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Fantastic Four? A masterpiece? Chris, have you lost it? Hear me out, because we're going to explore the aspects of this movie that deserve a deeper look. We're going to break down the story, the characters, the themes, and the impact this film had on the superhero genre. Let's get started. One of the most groundbreaking things about Fantastic Four, especially for its time, was how it handled the superhero team dynamic. Unlike the solo heroes that dominated the comic book landscape, the Fantastic Four introduced readers to a group of heroes who had to learn to work together despite their differences. This was a revolutionary concept that added layers of complexity and realism to the genre. This wasn't just a single hero, this was a group of individuals with distinct powers and personalities, all thrown together by a twist of fate. Each member brought something unique to the table, and their interactions were as much a part of the story as their battles against villains. The Fantastic Four showed that a superhero team could be a family, with all the love, conflict, and growth that entails. You had Reed Richards, the brilliant scientist turned stretchy leader. His intellect and leadership were crucial, but his character was also defined by his flaws and struggles. Reed's journey was not just about mastering his powers, but also about balancing his responsibilities to his team and his family. Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, struggled to be seen for who she truly is. Her powers of invisibility and force fields were a metaphor for her fight to assert her identity and strength in a world that often overlooked her. Sue's character arc was about finding her voice and proving her worth, both to herself and to those around her. Johnny Storm, the hothead literally, always craving attention and pushing the limits. His fiery powers matched his impulsive personality, and his journey was about learning responsibility and the importance of teamwork. Johnny's character added a youthful energy and a touch of recklessness to the team dynamic. And then there's Ben Grimm, the rock monster, dealing with the most tragic transformation and what it means for his humanity. Ben's struggle was deeply emotional, as he grappled with his new identity and the loss of his former life. His character brought a sense of pathos and depth to the team, highlighting themes of acceptance and inner strength. Seeing these characters interact, clash, and ultimately come together as a family unit was something truly special. Their relationships were complex and evolving, filled with moments of tension, humor, and heartfelt connection. The Fantastic Four's dynamic showed that being a hero was not just about fighting evil, but also about supporting and understanding each other. It paved the way for future ensemble superhero movies, showing that audiences could connect with a whole team, not just one hero. The success of the Fantastic Four demonstrated that a well-crafted team of heroes could offer rich, multifaceted storytelling that resonated with readers and viewers alike. This pioneering approach set the stage for the ensemble casts we see in today's blockbuster superhero films, proving that the sum of the parts can indeed be greater than the whole. At its heart, Fantastic Four isn't just about fighting villains and saving the world, it's about family. But not just any family. This is a family that has been through the ringer, facing challenges that would tear most people apart. And I don't mean the cheesy, picture-perfect kind of family. This is a family that argues, that has its fair share of disagreements and misunderstandings. They are flawed, they are real, and they are relatable. This is a family forged in trauma, in shared pain, and extraordinary circumstances. They didn't choose their powers, and they didn't choose each other, but they have to make it work. They have to find a way to be a team, to be a family, despite everything. We see the strain on their relationships, the resentment Ben feels for his monstrous form, the protectiveness Reed has for Sue, and Johnny's constant need for validation. These dynamics are not just surface level, they run deep and affect every decision they make. These aren't just superpowers and costumes. These are deeply human emotions and flaws that make these characters relatable. They struggle with their identities, their roles within the family, and their responsibilities to the world. It's about learning to accept each other, differences and all, and finding strength in the face of adversity. They have to reconcile their differences, forgive each other, and come together as a unit. That exploration of family dynamics, the good, the bad, and the ugly, adds a layer of complexity that elevates Fantastic Four beyond your typical superhero flick. It's this depth that makes their story not just a tale of heroism, but a poignant narrative about what it means to be a family. Now let's talk visuals. Back in 2005, CGI was still finding its footing, but Fantastic Four dove headfirst into the world of special effects. Think about it. How do you convincingly portray a man made of rock, someone stretching across buildings, or a woman disappearing into thin air? The film pushed the boundaries of what was possible, creating these iconic visuals that brought the Fantastic Four's powers to life. Sure, looking back, some of the CGI might seem a little dated, but at the time, it was revolutionary. It paved the way for the incredible visual effects we see in superhero movies today, proving that these fantastical powers could be realistically portrayed on screen. Chapter 4, Doctor Doom, a villain worth remembering. You can't talk about Fantastic Four without mentioning the iconic villain Doctor Doom. From his first appearance in the comics, Doctor Doom has been a character that captures the imagination. His presence is not just a mere obstacle for the Fantastic Four, but a force that shapes their very existence. He's not just some one-dimensional baddie with a generic evil plan. Doctor Doom is a master strategist, always several steps ahead of his enemies. His plans are intricate, his schemes are elaborate, and his intellect is unparalleled. Doctor Doom is a complex character with his own motivations, his own pain, and a twisted sense of morality. His backstory is rich with tragedy and ambition, making him a character that you can't help but be fascinated by. He believes that his actions, no matter how ruthless, are justified for the greater good. He's a brilliant scientist, just like Reed Richards, but consumed by his own ambition and a need for power. This duality makes their confrontations not just physical battles, but intellectual duels. Doom's scientific prowess is matched only by his unyielding desire to prove his superiority. The film does a fantastic job of showcasing Doom's intelligence, his ruthlessness, and the threat he poses to the Fantastic Four. His powers are formidable, and his presence is always felt, even when he's not on screen. The tension he brings to the story is palpable. He's a villain worthy of their attention, a villain who pushes them to their limits and forces them to confront their own weaknesses. Every encounter with Doctor Doom is a test of their resolve, their unity, and their ingenuity. He is the perfect foil to their heroism. And that final battle, with Doom's mask fused to his face, pure visual storytelling that sends chills down your spine. It's a moment that encapsulates the essence of Doctor Doom, a relentless force, a tragic figure, and a villain who will always be remembered. Chapter 5. Fantastic Four isn't afraid to blend genres. It takes the classic superhero origin story and injects it with a healthy dose of science fiction. You have the cosmic rays, the alternate dimensions, the exploration of the unknown, all elements that ground the story in a world that feels both familiar and fantastical. This blend of genres adds a layer of depth and intrigue to the narrative. It's not just about punching bad guys, it's about pushing the boundaries of scientific discovery, exploring the vastness of the universe, and grappling with the consequences of those explorations. It's this unique blend of science fiction and superhero tropes that makes Fantastic Four stand out as something truly special. Chapter 6. Now, I know Fantastic Four wasn't a critical darling. It received mixed reviews upon release, but that doesn't diminish its cultural impact. This film played a significant role in reigniting the superhero genre's popularity. It reminded audiences that these characters, these stories, had the power to entertain, to inspire, and to make us think. The film's success paved the way for future superhero adaptations, showing studios that audiences were hungry for these kinds of stories. And while it may not be the most faithful adaptation of the comics, it undoubtedly left its mark on the Marvel Universe and influenced the superhero landscape we see today. Chapter 7. Finally, let's talk about legacy. Fantastic Four may not have been a perfect film, but it laid the groundwork for future reinterpretations. The characters, the themes, the core of what makes the Fantastic Four so compelling, it all started here. The film's flaws, its missteps, they served as learning experiences for subsequent adaptations. It's a testament to the enduring appeal of these characters, their dynamics, and their stories that we keep coming back for more. And who knows, maybe one day we'll get that definitive Fantastic Four film that truly captures the magic of the comics. But until then, we have this film, a flawed but ambitious attempt to bring these iconic heroes to the big screen. Outro. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite films. I know this one might be controversial, calling Fantastic Four a masterpiece. But that's the beauty of film, isn't it? It's subjective. What matters most is how a film makes you feel, what it makes you think about. So tell me in the comments, what do you think of Fantastic Four? See you next time.